All right, let's get into this, guys. I'm going to show you guys. Okay, so we talked about Live Rank Sniper 2 weeks ago. Still valid. Love it. I love that tool. I'm going to show you some additional stuff that I figured out over the last, well, since in the last 2 weeks, that I just, to be able to scale this much faster. The Live Rank Sniper method's fabulous, but I'm going to show you today how you can scale this so much faster and identify keywords that have low SEO competition. And then you use Live Rank Sniper to confirm it. And it's a much more efficient process. Okay. Much more efficient. And I can't believe I hadn't thought about this sooner, to be honest with you. It's getting dark in here. How's it look on camera? Can you guys still see me okay? That stupid time change. I can't believe it's 2022 and we're still doing that bullshit with the time change. Can you guys see me all right? It doesn't matter. Never mind. Yeah. Okay. Good enough. All right. All right. So what I'm going to share with you guys today is using WriterZen. Okay. WriterZen is like my favorite keyword tool right now because of what I'm going to be sharing today. It's got the all-in title function. It's fabulous. They've got a pretty good topic research and they have a keyword clusterer too. So if you want to identify topic clusters and then you do the keyword research around the keywords associated with that topic cluster, and then you use the all-in title function, or what they call the golden filter, to identify the keywords that have low SEO competition, which means low all-in title. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, all-in title is a true measure of SEO competition for keywords because it shows you how many pages are indexed for that specific, or that are indexed with that specific search query in the title, the SEO title. Okay, so that's how you can tell a true measure of competition is by determining if it's got low all-in title, which means there's not a lot of competing pages that are optimized specifically for that search phrase. So that means it's going to be much easier to rank because you're optimized for a specific search phrase that few or no other pages are optimized for. So it becomes significantly easier to rank purely based on on-page, especially when you're using a high authority site that has a tendency to rank faster anyway, right? That's why YouTube works so well for this. Damon says your forehead is reflecting light. Well, I don't know how to fix that, Damon. That's funny. I have to put on a hat. And that's funny. So anyways, when I first started looking at this, like, again, I've been using WriterZen for months. I love it. It's a fantastic tool. I love it for the keyword research. It does a lot of other things too, but I use it mainly just for keyword stuff. But so interestingly, I noticed that there was, and this was kind of what started the idea for me. And so I'm just let's start a new process, and I'll just, I'll go through this. I'm going to show you guys some different ways to do this. But so one of the things was under Keyword Explorer, I noticed that they have a wildcard option, which I didn't notice before. I think this is a newer, maybe it was there before and I just never noticed it, but I just saw this like in the last 2 weeks since the last webinar that we did, mastermind webinar. And so for those of you who know what wildcards are when you're doing like Google Suggest, one of my all-time favorite, or for the longest time, my favorite keyword tool was Power Suggest Pro. We've talked about this for years at Semantic Mastery. This is a super simple, very inexpensive tool with a one-time cost that all it is a Google Suggest scraper, or a suggest scraper. Google, YouTube, Yahoo, Amazon, eBay, and Bing. So we can scrape all of Google Suggest keywords, and you can do it at, like in different levels and all kinds of stuff. And this has been one of my favorite keyword tools for years. But then WriterZen came out, and WriterZen didn't, again, at least I never noticed the wildcard option before. So we can use WriterZen to, and I'm sorry, I got off track for a minute. If we go back, like, so a wildcard option is using an asterisk, and it will replace that asterisk with, like, you know, a bunch of different words and things like that. And in Power Suggest Pro, that's one of the ways that you would identify search queries and things like that. If you can and discover Google Suggest phrases or terms or whatever you want to call it, suggested search queries, by going in and using the wildcard, the asterisk, you could identify stuff that you, and sometimes what's crazy about using like Power Suggest Pro is sometimes you find search queries. I'm not kidding. They're like 8 or 9 words long. Like, it's crazy how, and that if it's in Google Suggest, that means there's enough people that have actually searched for that specific search query that Google has created a suggested search out of it. So that means, even though, guys, it's funny, but over all these years, people in this SEO industry still use the Google Ads keyword planner as a measure of SEO competition. And they say, well, if the keyword planner shows no search volume for this keyword, that means it's not getting any traffic. No, that's bullshit, man. First of all, those numbers in Google's Google Ads keyword planner, those are not accurate. They're indications. They are not accurate. That search volume is not accurate. And by the way, the search volume and everything, those are based on Google Ads metrics, not SEO. Does that make sense? That's why, like, the competition levels are based on people competing, advertisers bidding on those keywords. The search volume is based on ads, like search volume ads, and it's not SEO search phrases, if that makes sense. Because if nobody's bidding on a keyword or a search query, which doesn't necessarily, because it can be a phrase or even damn near a sentence now, right? Then it's not going to show as volume, if that makes sense. So anyways, what I'm trying to say here is, if it's in Google Suggest, though, or YouTube Suggest or whatever, it means there's enough actual search volume on that, enough activity, people searching for that Google wants to make it easier on them. So they put it as a suggested search query so that people don't have to finish typing, especially for mobile. You start to type and it gives you suggestions, and you just tap on the suggestion to complete the search query, right? So anyways, this over the years has been great for identifying sometimes like really long phrases that get enough search volume that nobody's optimized for, and you can publish a piece of content about it, boom, it ranks, and now you've siphoned or secured that traffic, if that makes sense. Anyway, in Writer's End here, they have the wildcard function. Again, I didn't see that before. So we're going to take some tests here, or do some examples here of, so I've already got it open in my browser over here. So, but I'm just going to show you, like, for example, if I put tree asterisk, and we'll use, I've got Kentucky, but we'll go ahead and do Massachusetts, because I'm going to demonstrate today, because I just did this for, I'm expanding some area for a tree service contractor of mine in the Boston, north of Boston, Massachusetts area. So I did this today earlier anyway. But if I put in here tree asterisk, which is the wild card, and an MA for Massachusetts, and I just click search, what this will do is it's going to go out and it's take a couple minutes, and it's going to come back and it's going to give me all the suggested search queries, the suggested search queries that pop up with the tree asterisk MA. Okay, so you'll see over here, I'll zoom in on this a little bit, guys. This gave me 1,098 keywords. Tree house, yeah, I see that. Tree farm, tree nursery, but then we get into some like tree removal, Plymouth, Massachusetts, tree removal, Taunton, MA, tree service, Taunton, MA, like so on and so forth. So there's 1,098 keywords. So that's great. That's a great way to identify keywords very quickly that have some measurable volume, or have some sort of trend. Okay, that's if it's in suggest, there is some measurement, some sort of volume on it at all. And then you would apply the golden filter. Okay, so I would say confirm, and it will go out but I'm not going to do it because not all these keywords are relevant, so I don't need to do that. But I'm going to show you another way too. This is just a quick way to do it from inside the Writer's End app or dashboard without needing to go do some preliminary preparation work. But you can get much better results, as I'm going to show you, doing a little bit of front end work, which is very simple to do when I show you the way that I've got this set up. But I'm just showing you this shows you, because there's stuff in here that's not relevant, like tree house. I don't know what Tree Tech is. Maybe Tree Tech is a company. It might be, it probably is. But there's stuff in here like tree house, tree farm, tree nursery. Some of those aren't relevant. So I could extract the ones that are relevant and then export those or push those into a list, and then go run the golden filter on that list with the relevant keywords, etc. But there's another way that we can do it. So I just wanted to show you the wild card way to do it, which can also sometimes reveal, interesting search queries that you weren't aware of. Now, I'm in the tree service industry. I know there's really only about 5 or 8 keywords that produce leads consistently that are worth targeting. All the other stuff is just junk. If you target the top 5, really 5 to 8 keywords properly, then all the other keywords are going to rank anyway. So it doesn't matter. So I don't target long tail stuff with tree service anymore. I just target the primary keywords and that's it, period. End of story. Okay. It's just way more efficient that way. So anyway, the other way to do it is to go in and create a list of keywords specifically that you want to target with the cities already in them. And then you can test different versions. Like there's another one, Tree Buds. That wouldn't really be relevant. I can't believe Tree Buds Bellington, maybe that's a company name, has a search volume of 20. That seems like a very obscure keyword. Maybe it might be a company name. Anyway, the other way to do it is to go do a little bit of research. I'm going to give you an example of this on how to extract all of the cities within a state or a county, however you want to do it, that meet a specific criteria. So let's say population of 10,000 and above, population of 10,000 to 100,000, or population of 10,000 and above, or 20,000, whatever the threshold is that you want, and extract all of those city names. And then you can create a sheet like this where so what I did was I did this with Massachusetts earlier. I went in, I'll demonstrate this, but I went in and I took all of the cities in Massachusetts, the state of Massachusetts, with population of 10,000 and above. There's 83 cities in the state of Massachusetts that meet that criteria. That's those 83 cities right there. So then all I did was in column 1, I put tree service, or column A. Column B, I put tree removal. Column C, I put tree trimming. Those are the top 3 keywords, hands down, for tree service contractors, period. I could make it a little bit more long tail by doing tree removal service and tree trimming service, yes. But what I want to do is find the areas. And if I was going after a more competitive area, then I would want, like Boston, for example, then the tree removal service and tree trimming service would be probably longer. They're longer tail keywords, a little bit less competition. So I might want to target those. But in this case, I'm going statewide to try to identify which areas in the state I can rank for very, very quickly. I want to see what the competition levels are. Okay. So the 3 primary keywords: tree service, tree removal, tree trimming. Okay. So then I add in this column, again, in this column is the cities that I extracted from this World Population Review site. I'm going to show you that in a minute. You just download a CSV file. It's got all the data in there. It makes it super easy. Then I put MA for Massachusetts here. And then I just did a quick formula right there, right? So you see that? I just did a formula to just drag this down, and it automatically converted tree service, Boston, MA, right? Does that make sense? Just drug that down and it did all that. Then I did the exact same formula here, and then the exact same formula here. Okay. So you guys can see all that. And then, so that gives me all these keywords, which it ended up being, I think, 249 out of these, which then you can go into Writer Zen and use the keyword importer and import those keywords, and then run it through the golden filter, which is the all-in title. And that gives you your SEO competition. Does that make sense? So let me just show you very quickly the World Population Review or whatever. I'll link to this as well. So here's the format for this, guys. And I'm going to post this link in chat with this format. Damon says, my .NET won't update to use PSP anymore. Did you contact support? Damon, I mean, contact Ted Chen is the developer of Power Suggest Pro. Ted Chen's a good dude. So I would contact Ted and see if he could fix it for you. Or, you know, I'm sure there's a solution. I'm sure he's got a solution for it. And Ted's a good dude. So anyway, so World Population Review, guys, I'm going to give it to you in this format, but what you want to do is just replace the token state here at the end with the state spelled out however you want it. Okay. So this is, bookmark this URL, guys. If you plan on doing this for anything, but I use this a lot. So anyways, let's do it with Kentucky, because I've got the lead buyer in Kentucky that I'm still working on stuff for him. So let's do it with Kentucky and I'll show you what I mean. Well, I'm just going to duplicate what I did here, but for Kentucky. And we've got about 40 minutes and it shouldn't take that long, but you know me, I talk too much. So anyway, so you see how we went right into Kentucky, guys. All I did was swap the token out at the end. And here we go. Here's all the cities in the state of Kentucky, and they're sorted by population descending. Does that make sense? So anyways, I'm just going to download the CSV. Just click that little CSV button right there, right? Download it. I'm just going to put it in my downloads folder, Kentucky. Okay. Now I'm going to open that up. Okay. Then right here, you see the population. Whoops, I didn't need to do that. That's in this column. I meant to expand that column. Okay, so there's the population, and wow, Kentucky's got a lot of low population areas. But I would say, okay, let's go with anything above 10,000. So I'm going to go from 10,000 all the way up. Louisville is huge compared to everything else. So you know what? I'm going to skip Lexington and Louisville. I'm just going to go with everything above 10,000 and everything below 300,000. So I'm going to go with those. Okay, so it shows 45. I've got 45 cities. So first I'm going to copy that. Then I'm going to go jump over here and go to convert case real quick and make it lowercase just so everything's uniform, because I'm OCD like that. If I have one column with capitals and everything else under lowercase, it will drive me up a wall. So I'm going to lowercase everything. Boom. Now I've got it. Now I'm going to come back over to the CSV file. You know what? Yeah, I'll just do it here. It's fine. Go ahead and paste that in. Okay. And then just as I mentioned before, I'm just going to put tree service. Oops. We'll do tree removal, tree trimming. Those are the primary. Those are the three most valuable keywords for tree service contractors. Okay. There's a few others. There's about 8 in total that are. So tree pruning is a synonym for tree trimming. Tree cutting is a synonym for all of them. Tree care, land clearing, stump grinding. That's about it. Arborist or arborist, you know, arborist, tree care, arborist, tree service, that work too. Anyway, so we've got those 3. Then I'm going to put KY for Kentucky. And then I'm going to create the formulas, which I think it would just be easier just to copy that faster. Just copy the formula. And boom, we're done. Okay. There's our keywords. All right. So now that we got that done, all I'm going to do is go back over to Writer's End. Somebody was talking about that too, by the way. I didn't answer the question. All right. Anyway, so we're going to come back over here and I'm going to go to under the tool menu. Under the tool menu, this dashboard area, we go to keyword importer. I'm going to click import keyword, and here's where I'm going to paste those values in. Make sure that you paste values. So I'm going to come over here and go to the Kentucky sheet. I'm going to copy these keywords. Paste it in, Control Shift and V. Paste these in. And then lastly, this batch. So that's 45 times 3, which is what? 135, I believe, keywords. Yep, 135. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click. Why is it not? Oh, I got to give it a name. Duh. I'm going to say Tree Service Kentucky. Shit. Okay, I'm going to click add. Okay, it's going to take just a minute because it's going out and pulling in the search volume data. Harry says, I'll also teach you how to use F4. You know what? I appreciate it, man, but I like the fact that I don't know how to use Excel all that well. No, I know it's one of the things I should have learned years ago. I struggle with Excel every time I try to do anything like that. Oftentimes I keep the formulas in another sheet so that I can just go in and copy them. But when there's already data in this page, it screws me up. Anyway, all right. So you guys see there was how many keywords? 135. Right, I already knew that. But now we have to apply the golden filter. So I'm going to say confirm. Okay, it's going to use credits, but I get 150,000 credits a month, and I got 2 accounts. So I've never gone a month where I've used up all the credits. It says it's going to take 11.75 minutes, but that's inaccurate. It never takes that long. Sometimes I'll run the golden filter on, 3,000 keywords, and it says it's going to take 3 hours, 180 minutes. I'm not kidding. And it's done in like 6 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, look how quick they said it was going to take 11 minutes. It was done in 30, not even 30 seconds. Anyway, so here we go, guys. Now we've got the all entitled numbers. So what's really cool about this is, like, take a look at this. We sort by search volume. Now we can identify very quickly. Remember, we've got the top 3 keywords for tree service contractors: tree service, tree removal, and tree trimming, in that order. That's how valuable they are in like that order, right? And we can see very quickly, like, the search volume, cost per click values, and the all in title. And here's where it gets interesting, because this is where we can identify the keywords that have basically 0 not optimized at all. You guys see how freaking awesome this is? Like, so this is the first step. It takes a couple of minutes to prepare the keywords that you want to check, and then you plug them into this tool, and in a matter of minutes, you have the SEO competition for these are money keywords, guys. These are money keywords. You understand that? I don't give a shit if it says there's only 30 searches per month. This has 0 all-in title, 30 searches per month with an average cost per click of $12.45. And I don't know. Again, I don't know where these average cost per click numbers come from. I think it's bullshit, because every time I ever try to run Google ads for any sort of keyword, tree trimming or tree service and tree removal, especially, those are more expensive usually than tree trimming keywords, but plus a location modifier. I'm telling you, I've never got a search click for anything less than like $35 for tree service keywords. So I don't understand where these $12 values come from. I think it's BS. The point that I'm trying to make here is that this has 0 all-in title for tree removal, Georgetown, Kentucky, and it gets 30 searches per month. Again, these are not accurate numbers. These are just indications. But, you know, if you get even 20% of, if you could rank and just get 20% of that search volume, that's 6 clicks per month for a keyword that has 0 competition that I could probably rank for with a live rank sniper scheduled live event. Don't even need a video for it. And then I could, and again, that's the whole point, is to identify these keywords first. And I'm going to show you a couple other ways to narrow it down even more, but identify these keywords and then go prove it, confirm it using live rank sniper. So instead of doing only 10 keywords well, you still can only do 10 keywords at a time, but with live rank sniper, if you only use live rank sniper, then you have to go manually identify the areas, manually identify the city names that you're going to test, and then you plug them in and do 10 at a time to test to see how they perform. This way I can go in and do hundreds at a time, right? Like the Massachusetts one I did earlier, I think it was 83. So it came out to be 249 keywords, because it's 83 times 3 versions, right? 1, 2, 3. So it came out to be 249 keywords. And I was able to use this tool to be able to find the keywords that have little to no competition. So you can sort by volume that way. You can also hit the refresh button and you can sort by all-in title. Take a look at this. Here are all the zeros. So I could go through here and find the keywords that have 0 all-in title, but then have some trend and some search volume and perhaps a CPC value. Again, I don't believe these CPC values. It should be a lot higher than what this is showing. So I really don't understand where these numbers come from, because it's never accurate. Whenever I try to advertise on any of these keywords like this, it's always a hell of a lot more than what it says here. But the point that I'm trying to make is there's money here, guys. There's a lot of money right here. So let's just take an example. We saw earlier we had tree service Georgetown. I thought the other one was tree removal too. So by the way, if you click on it, it does give you some more detail, but let's just go look at this, because sometimes there's a little bit of discrepancy between what Writer's End shows and what's actually there. But I think it's because Writer's End does not take into account supplemental index, which is stuff that Google puts in the secondary index. So sometimes the values will be a little bit higher, but you'll see, like if I look at all entitled tree service Georgetown, Kentucky, so this is showing 25 results and Writer's End showed 0. So that's why I said even those aren't 100% accurate, but it's very few. And in fact, if we come down here, you'll see it's showing 25 results up here, but it says about 25 results. But look, if we go down here, it's only showing 2 pages. Well, if there's only 10, if there's 10 results per page, then how is there 25 results? And there's only 2 pages, right? There should be 3. So if we click into page 2, you'll see, look at this. There's really only 11 results. And because the rest of those about 25 results were in the supplemental or secondary index. Does that make sense? So that's why there is a bit of a discrepancy between what you see here. Let me click on that again. And what is actually, what if you go do a manual all-in title. By the way, don't try to do a bunch of manual all-in title searches or any sort of Boolean search for that matter, or you'll get CAPTCHA, because Google's, it's hard on Google's servers when you do Boolean searches. It uses a lot of computing power. So you can only do a couple of these, depends on how quickly you do them, before you get to CAPTCHA, where you, like, we detected unusual activity from your computer. Make sure you're not human, you're human, excuse me. You guys know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so just be careful when doing that. But again, so you don't have to go manually confirm the all-in title values here. This is just a good indication, right? So Be efficient with your time. So anyways, underneath the golden score, besides that, let's refresh again, bring it back to its original status. If I come into golden score, so what was there again? I forget. I think it was 135 keywords, right? Yes, 135 keywords. If I click on golden score, there's by ranking probability, 124 out of 135 keywords in this list are good. They're saying as the ranking is the golden filter or golden score shows have high ranking potential. By potential value, these are the keywords that have value that also are very low competition. So there's 59 of them. So do you guys understand if I apply this right now, these are the keywords that have measurable value that are fairly easy to rank for, as you can see. And let's just go ahead and show 100 results so we can show all of them. And it's only 59 keywords, but that's 59 money keywords, if that makes sense. So again, if I sort this by search volume, which no, it's not sorted by search volume, right there. These are the keywords here that have fairly significant volume, have cost per click values, most of them anyways, and have very few all in title, very few competition, right? Why does it matter if we hit the capture? Do we get penalty? No, you don't. It's just it's a nuisance. It's irritating. It's not a penalty. It's a nuisance. That's all. That's all I was saying when I say just be careful, because it's just kind of annoying. That's all. Anyway, but look at that, guys. All these keywords have search volume. Most of them have CPC values. They have trends. And look at how many of them, I mean, just that's just insane. You guys understand? So that's the whole point that I'm trying to make here, guys. These are all keywords now that I can identify in the state of Kentucky that I can then go out and use LiveRank Sniper to test with. I can go confirm whether or not I can rank for these keywords very quickly using LiveRank Sniper 10 at a time. And then the ones that do end up ranking very quickly, which not all of them will, but a lot of them will. Then I can go, like I said, and then stream a video into that scheduled live event, which is just a placeholder. I can stream a video into there if I want, or I can go out, or which I probably would. And then I could also go out and build cloud pages, Weebly sites, patch.com classified announcement posts. Those three right there. And I could rank for those probably within a couple of days. No kidding, or a week tops. And I might need to do a little bit of link building. Now, depending on your strategy, I talked about this at the top of the webinar, and I'm going to wrap up after I get this part of it out. If you guys have any questions about it, let me know too, by the way. So you can go purely with YouTube and high authority properties that you rank, and that's it. Like, you can be done with it. In which case you can spam those. You can hit those with just bulk spam. You can go to Fiverr, use that up to top gig that I've shared a bunch of times in the mastermind and on Hump Day Hangouts. It's blog comment spam. It's pure spam. And you can hit those assets with anchor text links, with keyword anchors, and rank those assets, because those types of assets will rank with pure spam. Okay. Especially for low competition keywords. And in many cases, if you just get them crawled and indexed, you won't even need links. But if you do need links to get them to rank, you can use bulk link spam for that. Okay. But a longer term and a better strategy is to identify these areas. And as I mentioned before, have a brand in mind. If you don't already have a lead gen brand that you're expanding, have a brand in mind, have a branded domain that you've purchased, and then build an asset for those areas that you've identified. So build geo pages on those areas that you've identified on that branded asset, and then build your Web 2.0 assets that are branded as well, that link to those their corresponding geo pages. And again, you can build those Web 2.0 assets before you even publish the site. If you already have the domain and you know what the URL is going to be, you can go ahead and build those other assets and link them to a non-existent page yet. But it will be, because you can build those assets first so that you can get those in progress and get them, to start getting indexed, crawled and indexed and ranked. And then you can build your money site on the branded domain later. Does that make sense? So the point, and that way you don't have to go back later and edit those assets again, but do not spam those assets, because if they're branded assets, which again, the longer term strategy is to do what I'm telling you now. The short term strategy for just getting quick rankings, quick leads, is to just build the YouTube and your Web 2.0 stuff. And that's it. But I like to do stuff that's I do the work now and it's going to pay me for years. So I would prefer to do identify these areas. Then again, I've got the Grim Reaper Tree Services brand and Felling Pro that I could use as either one of those brands. And I could say, okay, I know these areas. I know what the URL structure is going to be for each one of these geo pages. So I'm going to go ahead and build these branded assets that are going to link to their corresponding pages. And then I'm going to hit those branded assets with topically relevant links. Now, remember, if you just wait for a week or two, they might rank without any backlinks. Some things like cloud pages are going to need a little bit of a nudging just to get them crawled on index number one, but I prefer to build a couple of links to those. So build relevant links to those, guys. I know of a good provider of topically relevant links. I can introduce you to them. But yeah, because those are more permanent assets, guys. And I recommend always do not spam your branded assets. Don't. Treat them as if they're branded assets. So don't spam them. So that's my whole point that I'm trying to make here is just a few topically relevant links to these types of assets, and they will rank and they will stay ranked. Does that make sense? And because they're linking to your money site, that will flow through to your money site. Your money site can end up ranking for that as too, and it can help to establish an entity over time. It's going to take some time and some other signals, which as I release more of the training from the POFU Live event, you guys will see there's a number of things you can do. Google Workspace account, adding Google Ads to, that's part of the reason I'm using Google Ads, not just to generate leads, but also because it is an entity validator. If you have a credit card on file and you've got Google Ads campaigns running to a specific project, it's another way to validate the entity. Does that make sense? Because you're paying Google, you're buying traffic to that entity or to that website. So it helps Google to recognize it as an entity. So Google Workspace account, Google Ads, adding tag manager code, which you're going to need to do for ads anyways, because you need to add the conversion linker tag, remarketing tag, conversion tracking tags, all of that stuff, right? Adding analytics. And if you have tag manager with Google Analytics 4 now, it's easy to add because you just add the tracking ID into tag manager and it's done. Adding it to Search Console, right? All of these things that you want to do on the money site to help eventually establish an entity. It's not going to happen overnight. But that's why I said then building the branded Web 2 assets and then hitting it with some topically relevant links. Now, again, all of this is to help establish an entity without a Google Business Profile. And it does take some time. It takes longer than if you had a Google Business Profile, you establish an entity the moment you verify the profile. Doesn't mean it's an authoritative entity, but it's established nonetheless. That makes sense. So this is a fantastic strategy here, guys. I'm telling you, this right here is money. And this is a very quick way to identify areas that you can target, get quick rankings, either to close prospects. It's a phenomenal strategy for that, or to identify areas that you can very quickly monetize with very little work with Web 2.0 assets, and it allows some time for the money site asset to rank. You guys understand, like, this is super powerful, and it doesn't take much time. I just showed you how quickly we're able to do this in Writer Zen, and then you go confirm it with the Live Rank Sniper, and then you again, a lot of this stuff, guys, think about this. I haven't yet, but I will build an SOP for this. So you guys will get that once it's built. I've not done it yet. But when I build an SOP for this, like, all of this can be outsourced. Every part of what I just showed you can be outsourced. Every part of it. All the Web 2.0 asset building, everything can be outsourced 100%. You can delegate this to a VA that you pay $6 an hour. Does that make sense? And then they could just be building, like, doing, this is what I call discovery, right? This is discovery. And then once you discover, then you build the assets. And again, Web 2.0 assets all can be done free. So this is 100% a VA task that you can outsource for pennies, basically, and just build assets everywhere, right? Some are going to do really well. Some aren't going to do as well as you had hoped. But the idea is, if you're paying somebody $6 an hour, even 8 hours a day, it's $50 a day, $250 a week, $1,000 a month. Think of how many, if they just chose, if they just did 10 locations per day, that's 50 locations a week. That's 200 locations in a month. Did you spend $1,000 on? I mean, could you imagine how much of a digital real estate empire you could build off of this strategy alone with $1,000 for a VA that you're paying a VA a month? Like, think about that, guys. It's just insane how much you could, how much of a return on investment, $1,000 invested, right? And then domains and hosting. And so there's going to be a little bit more overhead than that, but on pure labor, you spend $1,000 on labor and boom, you've got 200 assets being built per month. 200 locations. It's going to be more assets than 200, right? But 200 locations per month. Think about that. Do you think if you had 200 locations in a month that you could monetize half of them, 25% of them? Think about it. It's just a great strategy, guys. And this is something that could be done and scaled very quickly. Okay. And again, if you have money, site, asset, or brand, I always recommend that, guys. We're in the semantic web. It's all about branding and entity establishment. You get that done, everything else becomes easier, right? So the point that I'm trying to make is, especially if you're starting from scratch, again, build a brand and use that same brand as you start to expand out in all these different locations. And what happens is, over time, the brand will all of a sudden, like, it hits a critical mass, like a tipping point, where all of a sudden it is a well-established entity. And then you can start using the brand website to go into new areas, and it'll rank instantly because it's already has the authority. It's an established entity and it has the authority. The domain itself, I don't mean Moz domain authority, but I mean the domain and the brand, the entity is authoritative. So when you enter new, especially low competition markets, you publish a geo page and it'll rank instantly. Does that make sense? It takes some time. You have to build some authority to the site. But once you do, that's why I say build a brand and continue to expand that same brand out, or a few brands if you want. But at some point, that brand will become well established in Google. And then when you go into new markets that are you've already identified are low competition, you publish money site pages and they will rank instantly. Number one, boom, no additional work needed, no backlinks, nothing. And it'll happen. I promise you it'll happen. Just a matter of, it takes some time to build that brand first. That makes sense. All right. So anyways, guys, hopefully you guys got a lot of that. To me, that right there is a freaking business in a box. I'm not kidding. I'm going to continue to develop this out and build some SOPs around this. So you guys will have some real examples from what I do. Don't wait on me. Start this on your own. You don't need to wait on me to hand it to you. I'll certainly give it to you when I'm done, when it's available, when it's ready. But in the meantime, go out and start testing this and report back. Let me know, guys. Share your successes and failures in the group, because it encourages others to take action. And I want to know about it too. What kind of results are you getting from this method? Great method though, I'm telling you. All right, I'm going to answer some questions. I'm going to wrap it up. Greg says like Zagio. Yeah, except Zagio's in more. Well, I guess, you know what, actually he has the, what is it? Keywords, keyword supremacy. So you can actually, Herc Magnus has the, you can log into a dashboard and do the all in title stuff. Yeah, Zagio does the all in title stuff, but it's in WordPress. I prefer it in Writer's Zen. I had Zagio for a year. I'm not talking bad about it. I don't like to do a lot of WordPress stuff, period. I don't like, WordPress is just a pain in the ass. If you guys notice, like, so ridiculous how many times you got, like, WordPress, you can't go a day without having updates. It's ridiculous. It's so annoying. That's why I prefer doing like HTML stuff. Oh, and by the way, our HTML site builder for the local site structures that I've shared dozens of times now, it's almost ready. It's, in fact, the developer's waiting on me to test a little bit further. I haven't had the bandwidth this week at all to do it. But it's almost ready, guys. As soon as that's ready, you guys are going to get access to that. No additional cost, just part of the mastermind. And you can take CSV sheets and build HTML sites just off georelevance data that, again, from CSV sheets. It's great. And that's, again, guys, I had that built specifically for this method that I'm talking about here, right? So we can go out and find these areas, identify it, prove it, live rank sniper, build some Web 2.0 assets. And I already know I'm going to build a money site in that area. And then I can take all the georelevance data that, again, a VA can collect all that data, put it, copy and paste and do a sheet. And then it's CSV upload and boom, HTML sites built with perfect structure for those areas. And that's it, HTML. So you don't have to ever worry about any updates, never security issues, not a bunch of bloated code. Publish that site, and next thing you know, son of a bitch will rank, and you're off to the races, off to the next location. So Michael says, so now I need to buy Writers and LLO. I missed the lifetime deal. It's probably not so cheap now, but this is awesome. Yeah, actually, I don't think it's that bad. I mean, I agree. It would have been nice if you could have gotten the, did I not paste these links in there, guys? I meant to paste the links in there too. Sorry about that. here's the links if I didn't do it. Let me go view that and see. I don't think it's that expensive. It's worth it. With the amount of time that this is going to save you, I'm telling you, I love their keyword tool, man. It's really good. Yeah, so this is the plan that I have. I mean, I got a lifetime deal, but so $69 a month, and you can do 100,000 keyword credits a month. Oh, I've got 150,000 credits per month. But anyway, you know, if you might not need that many, so $40 a month, and that gives you 40,000 credits per month. That might be all you need. Well, that's yearly. That's why. If you go on monthly, it's a little bit different. But anyways, it's inexpensive enough, guys. The amount of time that this will save you, like I said, you could do it with, with just LiveRank Sniper, which is what I shared 2 weeks ago before I kind of developed this method that I just shared today. But this is, you can only do 10 at a time. And so, and again, this doesn't get, and you could potentially all entitle manual searches yourself, but who has time for that? Right. So the cost, this right here, peanuts for the amount of time it'll save you. Because again, as I just showed, you know, you can identify all the, like in mass, all of the keywords, the money keywords. Don't worry about long tail. Just select your money keywords and paste them in with location modifiers by city, just the way I just showed you. And you can take all, like figure out all of the low competition keywords in an entire state if you want. And now there you go. You can do it one time, right? You can do all that research one time and then cancel your subscription for the next month as you build all that shit out, if that makes sense. Like, think about that. You could literally pay for 1 month, do all your keyword research, all your entitle stuff, export all that stuff, and then cancel your subscription. And now spend the next 2 months, 3 months building all that stuff out. And that's a business in a box. I'm not kidding. Like, it's fabulous. Of course, there needs to be some more training about building the assets. That'll come next. In fact, maybe in 2 weeks, I'll give you guys some training on doing a patch post and a Weebly site and that kind of stuff so that we can continue to expand this. Does that sound good? We'll do that. All right. Last thing we're going to do is also, if you use this, Michael says, also, if you use this technique, you can just build the Web 2s regardless, without even using LiveRank Sniper if you want. Just saying, yeah, you could. The thing is, I like to test though first, because I know that I have targeted low all entitled keywords in the past, and it still ended up being difficult to rank for whatever reason. So the LiveRank Sniper is a quick way to test and confirm with very little work. Again, as I talked about, especially if you're in the same industry, right? If you just are duplicating the project in just different the only thing that changes is the location. You can set up a LiveRank Sniper campaign template that all you do is swap out the keywords or the location modifiers, depending on how you set up the campaign. And that's it. Like, you can use the same spun article, the same thumbnail images, if you make them generic. I've got a couple of brands, Felling Pro and Grim Reaper Tree Services, that those are, I have them thumbnails created with specific phone numbers for specific locations, but you could do it generic. Anyways, all I'm saying is you could set up a campaign that is, you just duplicate that campaign over and over and over again. You just swap out the location keywords. That's it. So you could set up a campaign with LiveRank Sniper literally in 5 minutes when you have a template set up, and then just hit the go button and walk away. And you come back 20 minutes later, and all 10 scheduled live events will have been scheduled. And then you hit the search scraper or whatever it is for it to go do the search to determine what has ranked. And you walk away and come back 10 minutes later, and it tells you what's ranked and what's not. And then you're done. So that's all I'm trying to say. You could potentially just build out the Web 2 assets, but for the inexpensive price of LiveRank Sniper and the fact that you could, in 5 minutes, set up a campaign, you come back 10 minutes later, 20 minutes later, and do the search, and come back a few minutes later, and now you've got, for sure exactly which keywords are going to rank out of those that you identified. And then you build assets around those. You already proven that you can rank those. That's all I'm saying. So, all right, last one is from Brad. He says, if you find a search with high volume on a misspelled name and therefore zero all entitled, can you think of a way to capitalize on it? Yeah, I think Brad, it was you that we were on a call together where we found one, right? I think it was you. Yeah, it was your onboarding call. That's right. I remembered that. And you're right, Google auto corrects. And I forgot that Google does that. Google auto corrects the search results and says, showing the results for the correct spelling. Did you mean to? And then it gives you the option to click for the misspelling. And I forgot about that. So Google didn't used to do that, but they do now. And that's a bit of a nuisance. So yeah, I don't know how to capitalize on that. I don't. The thing is, I just showed you guys like how many keywords we were able to identify that aren't misspellings. You know what I mean? So my guess is with you, Brad, if you were to go now, guys, we just did this on a city level. Now, if you're in a more competitive area, like a city, I don't have time to get into this much, but just think about it. You could go in and extract the neighborhoods from within a city or the district or boroughs or whatever you want to call it. Right. So like you could go in, like, again, Louisville metro area is big. And there's a whole bunch of census designated places, former towns that are now kind of in the whole Louisville metro area, whatever. Anyway, point is, I could go in and go, let me just demonstrate this really quickly. Let me just show you what I mean. There's other ways to do this that would still be relevant. So let's go to Wikipedia real quick. I'm going to run out of time, so I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I'm going to say Jefferson County, Kentucky. All right, so let's go here. All right, so what I'm going to show you here is, like, for example, if you're in a more if you're in a metropolitan area, then and you want to target there in that area, and it's going to be more competitive, they always are, then you could do something like this. Now, Jefferson County, like, literally it's just Louisville metro area. It's like the county that surrounds Louisville metro, but it's about the same area. It's pretty much the exact same area. So anyways, if we go in here and we look at communities, this is how you could do this within a metro area. You guys understand? We could literally come in here and take all these, extract them, format them into the CSV or to an Excel sheet, just like I did here, right? Append or prepend or whatever your modifiers, your keyword modifiers to the locations, and then run all that through there. And you're going to identify the areas that, again, within Jefferson County, which is essentially the Louisville metro area, I could identify all of these areas then that I could rank for very, very quickly. Granted, these types of things generally don't, like these neighborhood levels generally don't get much search volume, but you could use all of that, which means a lot of them are going to rank really easily because they don't get any search volume really. But you understand you could use that structure, those YouTube videos and Web 2.0 assets that are all linking back to their appropriate geo pages on the money site. And that builds relevance, location relevance back to that page, which on the money site, then you have that location page, these small little geo area pages that are linking up to the top level page optimized for, in this case, Tree Service Louisville, right? Which is the main top level term. So you understand you're building geographic relevance back up to the top level city page this way at a very granular level. And you could do this at scale very easily. So you understand, like, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, that's a lot of locations. You could use the exact same strategy that I just mentioned. In fact, you probably wouldn't even need to go into writer's end with this because these are all going to be low competition, every one of these. Some are going to be lower than others, but you could take all of these and build that out the same way that I was showing. If you just wanted to target the ones that are super low in competition, then you could run it through writer's end, but then you could do exactly what I just mentioned. Take all of these and run, you'd probably need 10 campaigns, live rank sniper campaigns to do all that. But if you were to do all that, could you imagine how many of these end up ranking? Because again, low competition, and then you go out and build a few assets or geo pages on the branded assets as well. So like Blogger, Weebly, etc. You go and just create geo pages, and now you've got the YouTube videos that you could embed into those pages, right? And then you link that all back to the geo pages on the money site. The geo page on the money site links up to the top level page, which is Tree Service Louisville. And so all of that kind of builds geo relevance up to the top level page. It will help the top level page to rank. It'll take some time, but it will help for sure. Also, if you do have a maps profile, think about how targeting all of these areas, imagine how that would improve the maps ranking. Do you understand that? So there's a way that, again, you could use this exact same method today within a particular city if needed. Okay. All right, guys, that's it. We're right at the 5:30 mark. Look at that. On the money. I ended the webinar today at precisely the right time. So that is rare. Anyway, appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys. If you have any follow-up questions, let me know. The replay will be posted by Monday at the latest. Go play with that method this weekend, guys. See y'all later.